Good evening to all the undead ghouls and monsters. We are your horror hosts for tonight's Last Rites. What's up, Monster Squad? This is episode 23, and tonight we are bringing you The Beast Within. This is the answer to the werewolf movie I was asking for back when we were doing Arcadian.
Yeah.
So I'm like, finally, get the goddamn werewolf movie.
Yeah. We need a werewolf here.
We need a werewolf here. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight. But first, before we get knee deep into the full moon, we would like to tell you about our unofficial sponsor. Please sponsor us one day, Liquid Death. Liquid Death. Tonight, we are murdering our thirst with Severed Lime.
Yeah, I got Severed Lime too.
Their whole campaign is Death to Plastic. Their cans are aluminum, so easier to recycle. Save the universe, save the world. Well, I don't know about save the universe. Maybe just save the planet.
Well, there is a lot of debris we keep sending up on space, and it's floating around. So maybe one day we'll fix that too.
Yeah, it's probably Elon Musk's mission once he gets to Mars to make a recycle center.
Right.
All right. Yeah, see,
A little bit, yeah.
yours
a little
still
bit of the fizz.
yours still gets it. Mine fucking doesn't. I gotta shake the shit out of this or something. Of course, then it'll
No.
spray me.
No. Yeah.
Good old Severed Lime.
Never fails. This one was the first one I really liked. I think it was my first favorite. So it's kind of a classic at this point.
Yep, I agree. I like the water, but
Yeah.
for flavored, Severed Lime is obviously the best to me.
Yeah, it's also the easiest to get. If you go to any store, they might be missing this or that, but Severed Lime seems to be always there. So
Yeah, it's
Can't go wrong.
it's the main three. So there's the sparkling in the black can, the mountain in the white can, and the Severed Lime in the green can.
yep.
And
Good
I'm
stuff.
starting to see more Buried Alive also. So you got white, black, green, and silver.
Yeah. Still haven't come across those other flavors. What was it? The s'mores or something, and
Oh, the ice cream fudge or something like
Yeah.
that. Hot fudge sundae.
hot fudge sundae. That's
Hot
what it
fudge
was.
sundae. Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't come across those.
I forgot what the other one was, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those fancy fucking foo-foo flavors.
At this point, I'm expecting like a Oreo collab at some point. I don't know.
Oh,
There
yeah.
might be.
I tried that. That's someone at work bought the can of Coke and Oreo.
Coke and Oreo, yeah.
It was weird. I mean, you could totally taste the Oreo, but like, how much chemical did they have to
Yeah.
create for you to get that flavor,
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
and then for that to put into your body?
I tried the actual Oreo cookies with the Coca-Cola flavoring. So that's like the other collab that they did. Those were interesting. They used Pop Rocks in the cream to make it like a fizz feeling
Interesting.
to it. And one of the cookies is Oreo flavored, and the other cookie, the red cookie, is Coca-Cola flavored. So those were weird. Anyway,
Liquid Death. Crazy, crazy. All right. Today's Mount Rushmore segment is
my new favorite segment.
endings. Favorite, shocking, doesn't matter. Whatever you thought the best, worst, so on and so forth, ending to a horror movie.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and start?
All right, I'll begin with my number 4. Not really a ranking, but just numbering it, I guess. This one's gonna keep coming out, guys. Nosferatu. It's gonna be in almost every list of anything for me. So I hope you guys don't get bored of that. I'll explain why, though. I like this ending because the girl at the end pretty much sacrifices herself to kill the monster, and pretty much spends the night with the monster in order to kill him. In the original film, the 1922. I don't know if Eggers is going to do it this way, but in the 1922, she kills the monster by keeping him with her till the sunrise. And then the sun comes out, and he's dead, disappears. I thought that was a cool ending. It's just an ending of sacrifice, self-sacrifice, ultimate sacrifice. So that's why Nosferatu was my number 4 in the Mount Rushmore.
Cool. Same thing with me, no particular order, but my number 4 is The Sixth Sense.
Ah, well, yeah.
So, people are going to be like, blah, 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 I knew it was coming. Bullshit.
I know.
Bullshit. You knew it was coming the second time you watched it after you saw it the first time. Nobody saw it coming in the first movie. And if you saw it somehow, I don't know. You must have read the script some way or heard from somebody in the industry.
It was predictable, man.
Yeah, bullshit. Like, you watch it the second time and you pick up on all the clues. The first time you're watching it, I mean, unless you're just tearing apart the fucking movie because you're some sort of film professor that wants to ruin shit for children, then maybe. But no, nobody saw it coming. And it was definitely a jaw dropper and a head turner. You're just like, what?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It got me the first time. And there's also a reason why they call it the Shyamalan twist, or what, the twist ending, the M. Night Shyamalan twist ending, and that became like a trope, like a thing.
Yeah.
And the thing that he was known for is for doing this weird twists where like it catches you by surprise. Yeah, absolutely agreed.
So that's my number 4, The Sixth Sense.
Good one. Good one to start with. My number 3, I got Night of the Living Dead. Because it's tragic. The guy almost makes it,
That was going to be my number 3, but I changed it.
Okay.
So, but go on.
Yeah, that's really the only reason. Is because just when you think, he was going to make it out of there, last man standing, and then it just ends in his death. And that was it. And it was just roll credits. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, but I also, I hate how people are trying to make it into something that it wasn't. Because, like, really, if you watch it, and you even watch the remake of it, there was really no, like, there's a color fella up in the attic or up there.
No, they totally confuse him for one of the undead.
Yeah, they totally confuse him for one of the zombies.
Yeah.
So, yes, there was no underlying story there, It was just, yes, last man almost made it out.
Yeah.
But didn't.
Yeah, so that's my number 3.
That's funny. Yeah, that was going to be my number 3, but I changed it. So my number 3 is Frailty.
Okay.
Yes. Bill Paxton, I thought, did a fantastic job. Booth Power did a great job. Matthew McConaughey was outstanding.
Yeah.
And just the twist in this, just to find out that he was portraying his brother, and the entire time, he was basically the bad seed.
Yeah. Right. Cool. So, number 2, my number 2 is the ending of The Witch, Robert Eggers.
Ooh.
Because the whole movie just builds tension, and all these tragedies happen, and then at the end, like it's a culmination of everything that happens.
What the fuck was the name of that goat? It was Black
Billy?
Black Billy? Black Bill? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part when it started talking to her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where because the entire movie I wasn't calling bullshit, but I was just like, oh, there's a woman in the woods, she, obviously kidnapped the kid and killed it.
Right.
Because in this day and age, there's things like that happen here, but as soon as the scene with her, talking to the damn goat and then signing the book and then going into the woods, like I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because it really builds up to it. The whole movie pretty much takes you through the motions so that you can get to that point, and it really impacts you that way. Because more and more supernatural and sort of magic, I guess, things happen in a movie that starts very, very grounded. And more supernatural shit happens. And by the end, when she just gives herself joins the Covenant, gives herself completely to Satan, and starts floating.
Yeah, floating. The floating thing was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then black screen, roll credits, and I was like, I had to clap at that point. It was a standing ovation for me at the end of that movie, and that's why it's my number 2.
Nice. My number 2 is Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah. Okay.
Because not every movie ends with the bad guy winning, and this movie ended with the bad guy winning.
Yeah.
I mean, the sister got away, but it was mainly he was after the brother, who was played by Justin Long, and that was the creeper's mission, was to get him, because he had the scent of him, and that was his mission, was to go get him, to eat him or eat his eyes, and do what the creeper does, and he was successful.
Yeah,
he got him. So and it was like one of the first movies that I've seen in a long time where, like I said, the bad guy wins at the end. The guy didn't get away, didn't make it. And you see that by the basically the hollowed out back of the head. I don't think you see that part. At least I don't remember. I just know you see the hollowed out eyes, and then you can see the creeper's face like looking through him like a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was super cool. That's why that's my number 2.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. A lot of the movies, especially horror genre, they end kind of. It's like a bittersweet type ending where, a bunch of bad shit happened, but final girl makes it out, or something like that.
And I don't even think she was like a final girl, because I think he was the star of the movie.
Yeah,
because he had top billing, because he had, I think, a name for himself, just coming up, and so like he was it, and then it was her, but she's the one who final girled, and then he's the one who bit the dust.
Yeah, so that's good. That's a good one. Nice. Speaking of final girl, I have a number 1, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That ending is just classic, with Leatherface just railing that electric saw above his head and just like swinging it around all crazy. Like, that's just like a cool classic ending, and it very emotional. We spoke about Scream Queens, that last scene where she's just completely distraught, and but she's made it, right, and she's just covered in blood, and like she makes it out, but she's kind of crying and laughing at the same time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, she's like crying and laughing at the same time, because like all those emotions are raw and just open.
Yeah, and then just closing on Leatherface, just going crazy. Yeah, that one was very impactful. I saw that when I was like, I don't know, I must have been 13 or 14, and that really made a mark on me.
Yeah. All right, and then I can't say it's Final Girl because it's more Final Boy ending. For me, my number 1 is Sleepaway Camp. Okay. The big reveal at the end when you find out Angela's really her brother.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that entire scene is just like you don't even know what to say. You just, as soon as it zooms in, it doesn't zoom in, but as soon as it zooms out and you see it's a body of a boy, and you're just like, what? Yeah, that's the big, like, what the fuck.
That is a big what the fuck.
But yeah, so I think to me that is the most surprise ending that you could have in a movie.
Well, good. That's a good Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. All right, well, if you guys differ from what we have, let us know in the comments. If you like what we have, let us know. Okay, so moving on, we have The Beast Within. So like I said in the beginning of this, I was finally happy to get my werewolf movie, because I was very disappointed with Arcadian not being werewolves. I mean, I wasn't disappointed with the movie, because it is what it was.
Yeah.
But I wanted the creatures to be werewolves. And then so when I saw this...
It was like monsters, like weird.
Yeah, some weird fucking monsters. Yeah. But I saw the trailer to this, and I was like, oh, great. Fucking werewolf movie. Finally. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, the trailer makes it seem like just like a classic, your classic tropes of werewolf. I was expecting silver bullets and things like that, but that's not.
Except for how misleading and fucking bait and switch this goddamn movie was.
Yeah. So on IMDb it says after a series of strange events leads her to question her family's isolated life on a fortified compound deep in the English wilds. It's a long sentence. 10-year-old Willow follows her parents on one of their secret late-night treks to the heart of the forest. It doesn't say anything more. When you watch the movie, there's a lot of contemplative sort of sequences, just sort of like slice of life, like the sequence where they go to the mall. The mom and her daughter, they go to the mall, just sort of like in secret. Not much really happens. I'll say this: the cinematography was beautiful because the setting is beautiful. All the places they're at, the forest, and there's this one big like building that they have with like a bunch of plants on it. That was pretty cool. They pretty much live on a farm, so they're out in the woods, sort of.
It's like a farm compound.
Yeah,
because it's fenced in. Like they've got a gate
right
at the door, like where they drive in and drive out.
Yeah, and really what we got was a story of family abuse or domestic abuse. I didn't really get it.
Yeah, I mean, I was really disappointed at the very end when I saw it, because I started putting basically two and two together, and I've read some reviews online, and I think they're pretty spot on about it. You're basically seeing the point through Willow's eyes, and it's kind of her interpretation of what's happening and what's going on. So I don't think she can process it correctly. So she's reading this book White Fang, which is about wolves. So, obviously her mind and everything is kind of running wild, with it. So she sees all the shit that's happening to like her mom and her grandpa and sees like the dad, especially like right after what you're talking about when they went to town. So the mom like made a pit stop before they made it to town and changed her clothes.
Yeah, I didn't get that part. Why did he hate dresses? They never explain how come.
Well, like I said, reading in these comments and stuff online, an abusive partner, will restrict the other one's wear because they want them to look a certain way, and they feel if they dress up or present themselves in a way that is going to attract somebody else,
other people, I see.
Yeah, then it's going to bring unwanted attention.
Yeah. And
they want to be controlling, so they want to control that aspect. So the whole scene with when him and his daughter were having, daddy-daughter day in the forest, and they're sitting there eating lunch, and then he went to go get her I think he said something about getting tea. So he went inside the truck to get a drink, and then as he was like moving stuff around, he saw the clothes like balled up in the truck.
Right, and get super mad.
Yeah, and then he got fucking mad because he went over.
He flips, right?
Yeah, the whole light switch thing got flipped on, and he went over and knocked the shit out of the sandwich out of her hand, and and told her to get in the fucking truck, and was just like a completely different person.
A different person, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the point of the movie, is how he turns into a beast, right? Just all of a sudden. And I didn't get how pretty early on I figured out, it seemed to me that everything was just in her head. And she sees her dad as a monster. But I didn't get the part where why is it a werewolf? Just because she's reading a White Fang.
That's the only thing I could think of. This movie was also based on a novel, and I didn't read the novel, unfortunately, but the synopsis that I get from the novel, that the novel is about werewolves.
Okay.
And they made a movie also, like in the 70s, 80s, something like that, about it. And same thing too, werewolves. I think with this day and age, the director and writer decided that, that they would have like this underlying meaning of what it could be. So using werewolves as their concept, that's basically the beast that the little girl's interpreting that her dad is. Instead of turning into an abusive father and husband, he turns into a werewolf.
Yeah.
It's just, I think a lot of it's all in her head.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's pretty much all in her head.
I just think they did a very poor job of communicating that to the audience in the trailer, because it's very misleading. I thought I'm going to go watch a werewolf movie, and it's not about
It's
werewolf.
a family drama
Yeah.
mostly. But yeah, even inside within the movie, I couldn't really tell which parts were the real parts. Not even from her perspective, it's difficult to tell reality from her fantasy, or if it's all her fantasy.
Yeah. There are a lot of plot holes. The whole ritual place that they go to chain him up.
Yeah, and they say nothing changes.
And nothing
Right?
changes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that I assume that has some sort of symbolism, but I couldn't grasp it.
Yeah, and I still can't figure it out either.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, what it's about. Why is she seeing this, or why we're seeing this?
Yeah, because
It's like they want you to make you want to believe he is a werewolf, but with each transformation, he becomes more and more a domestic abuser.
yeah,
When he's back to his normal self, he can't quite transform back to his originality
Yeah.
of the guy that I'm sure that the wife fell in love with. And that could be one thing. Maybe we're just not seeing it,
yeah.
even though it's like right there in our face. But it just seems like it's something completely different than what was actually was given to us.
Yeah, my main problem is I can't get if the movie does that on purpose, the confusion thing. Because there's this one scene where she's like, "What are you guys hiding? What are you hiding? Like, what are you?" So and the parents are like, mom is like, "Nah, don't worry about it. It's all good." And obviously they're trying to protect her from the domestic abuse that is going on. But then, are we supposed to see it and feel it through the little girl, where there's all this uncertainty and you have no idea? So then you're forced to make this whole idea of the werewolf, and it becomes real to you, and to you, the audience. I mean, not just the little girl. So, but that wasn't really clear, and I guess they did that on purpose. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they had a whole actual werewolf sequence
Yeah.
where it basically kills the grandpa. It doesn't kill the grandpa, but impales him on the antlers that are hanging on the wall.
Yeah. That part was kind of weird to me.
And then they actually show like kind of a werewolf-esque body, roaming through the house.
Yeah.
That they're trying to hide from and get away from. But yeah, a lot of it just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's
or
like,
the gun, when he gets the gun, and she's like, "What's this for?" And he's like, "It's for protection." And then she's like, "Show it to me," or she wants to see the bullets. At that point, I'm like, "Oh well, that's kind of a reference to like a silver bullet, right?" So it is real. And then I was like, but then nothing happens with the gun; they lose it or something. And I'm like, okay, so what was the purpose of that scene, right? To make the audience believe something? Because that wasn't for the little girl. That was.
Yeah, that could have been interpreted like many ways. Of like, yes, it could have been she was asking about the bullets because she wanted to make sure that they were silver bullets, or if it's as a domestic abuse thing, it's are there bullets in the gun,
Yeah.
or are you just using the gun as a scare tactic?
Right.
Don't fucking hit me. I got a gun. I will use it on you.
Yeah. None of that is clear. Like I said, we don't see really scenes from the adults. It's from the adults' perspective. Everything is from the little girl's perspective, and so that's why everything is very unclear. And I still wonder if that's supposed to be on purpose or what.
Yeah, because the whole transformation scene towards the end, where she's like stroking his face as a werewolf, telling him to come back to her. It's like this is what the little girl's seeing. It's in her head, or the dad finally caught up to them and is so angry that the mom's like basically trying to calm him down, but then says the wrong thing, and he like
Right.
backhands her or whatever he does to like knock her down to the ground.
Yeah, I think kicks her too.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then you just see him in his human form, and
Yeah.
like all enraged and shit. And it's like, well, what was it? Was he an actual werewolf, or was he actually just just an abuser.
Because then it goes into because the little girl has this she has asthma or something. She has this condition where she can't breathe, so she has to have oxygen from a tank.
Yeah.
And so they're running around with this tank. Then she does this thing where she lights the tank up and uses it like a flamethrower and burns the wolf, right? And then the last reveal is that it's Kit Harington just in his human form doing these things, physically abusing his wife, the mom, and not a wolf and not burnt either. So it's hard for me to jump from reality to the fantasy part of it, and back and forth all the time. It was a bit of a chore to watch from that perspective.
Yeah, so I'm back in the same boat. I haven't got my werewolf movie.
So what happened to me is, then it sent me on a rabbit hole to watch old werewolf movies that I haven't seen in a while, and a couple of new ones.
Well, before we get into that, so with that being said about this movie, because I'm sure there's really nothing more to say about it other than it was very interesting, different. I'm kind of a little upset about how I was misled with the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
They should have made it more known what type of movie this was going to be. Because shame on them. It's just, to me, you shouldn't mislead your audience.
I think they just got the wrong audience.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. It was interesting and different, like you said, and ambitious, I guess, in a way to use a trope that we all know and love, especially in the horror community, to expose a subject that's important. But
I'm not down. So I'm not downing on the domestic abuse, because there's no room in anybody's life for that. That's 100%. Nobody should ever be in that type of relationship, and if you are, you need to get out, make some phone calls, talk to some people, get some friends to help you.
Mm-hmm.
People are very forthcoming to help other people that are in need. So, just so you know. But the
movie as a film, it didn't do it for me, neither in the family drama side or the horror werewolf side either. So it was difficult to balance those two for me personally.
Yeah, I mean it's to me it was right there in the middle. So if I'm gonna rate it, I'm gonna give it, I want to say 3 stabs, but I'm looking at 2.5.
Yeah, same here. I'm in the middle of 2.5. I was gonna say.
So yeah, that's where we're at with that. But yeah, back to your rabbit hole. So watching this caused you to go down a rabbit hole.
Just watch a bunch of werewolf movies.
Yeah. You kind of, it's like washing the bad taste out of your mouth. And
a little bit, yeah.
getting that new flavor back in.
This is what I wanted. Yeah. There's a few. I saw one that I hadn't seen. It's called because it's similar to this. The Beast Within is The Beast Must Die, and it's 1974. And it caught my attention because Peter Cushing is in it, and Michael Gambon, a very young Michael Gambon. He must have been in his mid or late 20s, just rocking just like the baddest mutton chops you've ever seen, dude.
Nice.
It's so cool.
And for those of you who don't know, he was Dumbledore. He took over for, who was it? Harris? Yeah, Richard Harris, I think is his name.
Richard Harris, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, who died after the second...
The second movie, that's right, Richard Harris. But this one, The Beast Must Die, is like a game of Clue. It gives you the opportunity of... It tells you one of these people, one of these characters is a werewolf. And you, the audience, get to, play the game. And at a certain point in the movie... they give you a counter, 30 seconds, and there's an announcer, and he tells you, okay, you have 30 seconds to make a guess. Who's the werewolf? And for 30 seconds, there's a dial on the screen, and they just show stills of all the actors and their characters. and then you guess, and then the next thing that happens is the reveal. I feel like I don't want to spoil this one because it's kind of fun. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of a fun thing to do. If you haven't seen this old ass movie, I don't want to spoil it. It was fun. It was fun to watch.
It's on my flash drive, so it's one that I'm gonna be watching in the next week or so.
It's super 70s down to the music. It's all like
Nice.
all that shit. Dude, you're gonna love it.
That's awesome. It's like a period piece.
Yeah. At this point, yeah. But yeah, that one was one I watched, and then a bunch of classics. Another new one that I hadn't seen was Wolf Cop. I didn't know about this one.
Yeah, I told him about this one. I think it has like 1 or 2 sequels to it. But yeah,
oh, really?
Super B movie.
Yeah.
But it is fucking great.
It's fun and a lot of zingers. Some of the lines delivered are a bunch of zingers and just super cool. It was super cool to watch. I do love me a B movie. Then after that, I watched Teen Wolf.
Classic
Teen Wolf. I hadn't. That one took me a while because I didn't remember a lot of this stuff. And when I watched it, and when I was a kid, I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies. And now watching it, first of all, the cinematography and just the production level is top notch. Like to this day, it holds up. You could tell
Really?
that was like real Hollywood, budgeting. You know what I mean? The acting is really cool. The characters are kind of funny. It was weird to me, the relationship between him and what's the girl's name? Boof?
It's been so long since. Looks like you have the TV show pulled up.
Oh yeah, I do have a TV show here.
Which I was going to touch on because the TV show was phenomenal. If you haven't watched the TV show, it was on MTV.
No, I never saw that one.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It is fucking cool and really good. And they actually just put out a movie. I think it was like either the beginning of this year or last year. So they got the cast back together and then they did a movie.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, super cool. Definitely well worth the watch. And it wasn't. I mean, it has a little bit humor into it, but it's more of a drama. And yeah, it's and then they touch a lot on the supernatural aspect of it too.
Okay.
So it's not so much the comedy as in the Michael J. Fox movie, but the whole like retelling of of a Teen Wolf, like for drama and for a newer audience, I thought was done very well.
So more of a coming of age type story.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Because this one's chock full of laughs and made me chuckle the entire way, and some things don't make sense at all. The mom gets mentioned twice, but then they never really explain what happened to the mom. The dad, when he comes out in his wolf form, looks so goofy at this point. I was like, wait, what is...
Yeah,
if he's a wolf, what does he need glasses?
Yeah, the scene where like he's getting ready to come out of the bathroom when he transforms, and the dad's already transformed.
He's already there,
and he's just looking like, yep. It was very classic comedy.
Yeah. Also, how because the first time you see the wolf is he's in a basketball team that always loses. They just lose all the time. The first time they lose like 12-72 or something like that. And it's like okay, and he just turns into a wolf in the middle of the game. There's like a pileup, and when he comes out of the pileup, he's wolf already.
Yeah, they're all backing off of him.
Yeah,
they're like, "What the fuck?"
But nobody in the audience. It took them like 2 seconds. Like, well, okay, he's a wolf. Now he can dunk, I guess. And they just move on real fast. Nobody says nothing. I thought that was pretty funny to me. And yeah, but like this classic movie. What was the next one I saw? Oh, Cursed.
Yeah, Wes Craven.
So this one's kind of a. It's interesting. The movie is okay, but the history of the movie is very interesting. I was looking it up. Skeet Ulrich was supposed to be in it. In fact, he was, and something happened. The studios, the Weinsteins, they didn't like it, or something went on that to this day they haven't really revealed. But apparently, Wes Craven actually shot like 90% of this movie with Skeet Ulrich, and
Who was he playing? Whose character?
I think he was playing the character that ended up being Joshua Jackson.
Oh.
And they had to a bunch of recasts. The entire production time was riddled with rewrites and recasts. People would come in and come out. At a certain point, I forget her name. Who's the girl from Nightmare on Elm Street?
Heather Langenkamp?
I think so. Yeah, she was supposed to be in it like a reunion. Wes Craven was going to work with her again. It didn't happen, or it did, but those 90 minutes are somewhere. Someone has them, but they haven't been released, and they're calling that one of the like ultimate director's cut that we all want, right? Because we wanted to see Wes Craven's actual vision, and this is one of those cases where the studio just got so much into it that it completely eviscerated the project.
Yeah, it's my money, so you're making my film now.
Basically. And it just it's kind of sad because it's Wes Craven we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
He in the 70s had really cool movies. Was it The Hills Have Eyes and
Last House on the Left?
Last House on the Left, redefining horror for that decade. Then he comes back in the 80s with Nightmare on Elm Street, redefines it again, and then the 90s, Scream
Yep.
does it again. So. And then it was the early 2000s. He was bringing back like a really cool, beloved. Like I mentioned before, that Werewolf was it's kind of like this untouched kind of genre of the horror movie, and Wes Craven had it. He had it in his hands, and the fucking studios ruined it for him. And ever since then, But it is what it is. With all that, it still had some cool elements to it. It was still a okay movie.
Yeah, I thought it was fun and entertaining. I did not know about that though. Like the whole different movie. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it has a crazy history.
I wonder what happened with Skeet. Like, was it something with him, or was it something with the Weinsteins? Like,
to this day, nobody
interesting.
knows. I hope one day we see the the found footage, but. No, it was a cool movie. Christina Ricci still rocked it. She did a really good job.
Oh, I love her. She's great in everything that she's ever been in.
Yeah, we got Shannon Elizabeth, Milo Ventimiglia. We know these guys, Judy Greer, and then Joshua Jackson and Mia. I think she was a singer, right? Back in those days. I don't really listen to a lot of like top 40, but I think she was popular back then. But yeah. This one was cool. It was weird to me how Milo Ventimiglia plays the jock, but then it turns out later that he's gay. And it reminded me, I was like, is this like a callback or something? Because in Teen Wolf, there's that scene where Scotty is the name, right, of the main character, tries to tell his best friend Styles that he's a werewolf. And I guess it's like a controversial scene now where he first of all he's in his garage is a mess, and he's looking for his weed. I think he said he was looking for his weed. He can't find his weed. I'm like, who loses their weed in the garage? But anyway, he's throwing things and there's just crap flying everywhere. He's not really paying attention to what Scotty's telling him, and he wants to tell him that he's a werewolf, and he can't find really the words. So Style jumps in and like, what are you, an F word? I don't know if I could say. I don't want to get the video taken down, but the F word, right, for a gay person. And he's like, no, I'm not an F word. I'm a werewolf. And he's like, oh, okay. And apparently that's a controversial scene now. But I was wondering, it was kind of like the same situation with Milo Ventimiglia and J.C. Eisenberg, who had been bitten, had the mark of the beast on his palm and everything. And he was trying to tell him, how did you know I was gay? and he's like, I just sort of figured it out because now he's got like senses and he has better perception, and Milo tries to kiss him or something. He's like, no, I'm not gay. I'm a werewolf, and I didn't know if they were like trying to make a callback or like something like that, like a simile.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird to me, but
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing that because a lot of times they pull from other movies, like, and put that thing. It's like an Easter egg, you know? Like, did you catch it?
yeah, right. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched Wolf, 1994, with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, see, that's on my list to watch. That's one
James
movie
Spader.
that I have not watched.
It's very 90s. One would call it kind of slow at this point, like slow pace, because it's also very grounded in reality, and the supernatural things that happen are very gradual and very, just very slow. The pacing is a little bit slow, but you get there real good, and Jack Nicholson is Jack Nicholson, so you get scenes with him that are just classic Jack Nicholson. There's this one scene that made me chuckle because he is calling Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's being kind of dismissive, and he's like, finally he gets her to accept to see him, and so he hangs up the phone, and then he looks at himself in the mirror, and he's sort of like fixing his hair, and then he goes something like, what does he say? I'm not only the president of the men's hair club, I'm also a member. And he laughs to himself, and I was like, that's classic Jack Nicholson. You know what I mean? It's so cool. Just being cool Jack Nicholson. But James Spader did a really good job in this one too. And the makeup effects are kind of cool. It's a good Wolf movie. Then I saw The Wolfman, the classic, the 1941. It's an hour long. Lon Chaney Jr., Bela Lugosi's in it.
Man, you're just like wolfing out this week.
Yeah. I watched both the 1941 and the 2010. Is it?
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, 2010 with Benicio del Toro. I mentioned this. It's basically the same movie, but just like more sophisticated. They make it a period piece in the 2010. While in the 1941, I guess it was modern times. It was the 40s, I guess. They don't go back in time or anything.
Yeah.
And this one, they're like in the late 1800s or maybe early 1900s, something like that. So it's kind of a period piece. I don't know why people didn't like it, but I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. I was very, very happy with it.
Yeah. Just the whole moodiness of it. It reminded me, the cinematography reminded me of what Tim Burton did with Sleepy Hollow. It was kind of like that. Maybe it was because it was almost the same period time as well, so that might have had something to do with it. But those two are they're a must-watch as far as wolf movies, in my opinion. And another one that's also a classic, An American Werewolf in London, which actually they do a lot of referencing to the 1941. And one thing that the character, the wolf character, David, played by David Naughton, says that I didn't notice really until I rewatched An American Werewolf in London. He says that he talks about the 1941 classic, and he says that in the end, the wolf gets killed by the dad. So the wolf always has to be killed by someone he loves or someone that loves him. Someone that loves him, I think that's what he said. And once I heard that, having watched the previous two, it totally clicked. I was like, that's true. In every one of these classic wolf movies, they get killed by somebody that loves them. I was like, wow, that's... the guy who wrote American Werewolf in London is really a love letter to those movies.
Yeah,
which is why I like it.
Yeah, they also say that this movie was the best wolf transformation on film.
Yeah, it's super creepy. So creepy. Yeah, that one. Yeah, because it was 1981. They didn't have CGI back then.
Nope, everything's
The-
practical effects.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you watch Cursed, it's the transformation is CGI, and it's 2000 what 2004 or something. So it's 2004. So the CGI was from 2004. You know what I mean? A 20-year-old CGI.
Yeah, so
And it wasn't very good.
So you have like American Werewolf in London, and then you have The Howling. So both of those have very practical effects, and The Howling itself almost dethroned American Werewolf for its transformation.
Yeah,
but,
same
but
year
not
too,
quite.
right?
No, I think it's a year or two after. I thought it was like 82 or 83.
No, it's this year. They're both 1981.
Really?
1981, and The Howling released April 3rd, 1981.
When was American Werewolf in London released?
Let's see. It just says 1981. I could go to the IMDb. It doesn't have an exact date. It just says 1981.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was cool. His whole relationship with his friend, even though after he's dead, all of that. The makeup was really good on the dead person because he kept deteriorating more and more.
I was gonna say every time that he saw him or talked to him, like he was more and more fucked up.
Yeah. They even at a certain point they had to use like animatronics, right? It was just like a skull moving and just like eyes like moving like this. It looked like a puppet. It didn't look like somebody wearing a mask. But yeah, also all special effects, practical special effects. So yeah, really cool wolf movies. There's more, but I didn't get to watch them, all of them. But yeah, those are the ones so far I've watched. Yeah. Also, it just happens serendipity, I guess. This week came out. DC published the first issue or the first chapter of something called Batman Full Moon, and I'll read the synopsis. An apex predator is stalking the moonlit streets of Gotham City, and it's not Batman. When the Dark Knight finds himself the victim of a grisly bite, thanks to a terrifying supernatural creature, he's forced to reckon with the darkest parts of himself and the most ironclad parts of his moral code, or suffer consequences that could leave him more monster than man. So it's written by Rodney Barnes. The illustration is done by Stevan Subic, and it looks really cool. The artwork is very gritty, very moody, kind of a dry color palette, but it fits the story really well. And I read the first issue. It's very, very well written. The author has done other horror things. There was this thing called Philadelphia, which is about vampires in Philadelphia. Rodney Barnes. So he's done horror before, and now he's taken on the Masked Crusader. So the first issue was good. I recommend it. Go check it out.
Dope. Yeah, it's cool to talk about comics, horror comics again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that you just happened to mention that we're going through these werewolf things.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
This one.
They dropped it the same week I was doing wolf thing, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read this.
That's dope. Well, cool. Well, there you have it. That's our review on The Beast Within. Kind of got low ratings from both of us.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and definitely recommend you to watch it. But at least if you've listened to this podcast before you watch it, you got kind of a better understanding going into it, so you're not so surprised like how we were.
Yeah.
It just felt like kind of like sidelined by the fake. And it wasn't fake trailer, but it just was misleading.
It was a fake out.
Yeah, it was very fake out. God damn it. But yeah, and if you guys have a favorite werewolf movie, let us know what you thought. If you've seen The Beast Within, let us also know your thoughts on that. If you agree with this or if you don't agree with this. Or if you had read the novel or seen the original movie that was out in the... when was that one out? Like, it was 80s, 70s?
Which one?
The first Beast Within?
That was 80... I have it right here. 82. February 12, 1982.
Okay. Yeah, so if you've seen the original from 82, let us know what you thought of it. And yeah, like I said, if you have a favorite werewolf movie, let us know what that is. And drop all those in the comments. You have anything else you want to add?
No, if you made it to the end, thanks for listening.
Very much so. We could not do this without you guys listening to us. We do appreciate all the likes and the follows. With that, we want to thank Liquid Death for murdering our thirst through this podcast. Thank you, Liquid Death. If you did enjoy the intro-outro music, that is by a band named Zao. You can view and listen to all of their stuff on their website at zaoonline.net. The song is a raw mixed version of Creator Destroyer off of their Crimson Corridor CD, which is out now. It's been out for a while. And they have some other socials where they've done live recordings, and you can, like I said, view all those on their website at zaoonline.net. We do horror trivia on all of our social medias, and post pretty much everything else on all of our other social medias, which you can find at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. Also, the podcast is put onto YouTube and Rumble, so there's videos attached to the podcast since we're not doing actual video podcasting, but we do include the pictures of all the topics and things that we are talking about, so that way you can follow along. And then the podcast itself you can find on Apple Podcast or Spotify for podcasters. Also, everything that we have talked about or displayed or posted, you can also find on the website at www.thehorrorscene.com. Yeah, I think that's it. Remember to stay creepy and keep it spooky. From our grave to yours, these have been your
Last Rites.
This is Last Rites.